It's time again for Behind the Law with Dennis Vetrano. Welcome back, Dennis.
Good to see you, Joe.
We've been discussing domestic violence based on the special wheel that we found on the Grace Smith House Facebook page.
Yes.
It's been a fascinating series. But somebody said to me the other day, and we were talking about this, in a case of domestic violence, why don't they just leave?
Yeah, and that's exactly what we talked about the last show. I think there's another post from Grace Smith House, and it poses that question, and then it gives a number of different reasons why they don't just leave. Because again, from my perspective, well, if somebody's beating you up or calling you names or, controlling your life, well, why don't you just leave? Yeah. And I think that should be a motivating factor to consider and pursue divorce if it's the right fit for you. So I think when people are in these sorts of circumstances, I encourage them to come into the office and do a confidential consultation, because I will show you, we will discuss with you that you have options. I think a lot of the times the reasons why people don't leave is because financially or otherwise they feel as if they're trapped. They feel as if they have no way out. There are no options. I'm here to tell you, you have options. But here are some of the barriers, or common barriers, why people don't leave. Embarrassment or shame, which I found interesting. I think many times we discount the mental and emotional aspects of a marital split or a divorce, and certainly a domestic violent relationship. Lack of money and resources, okay, that's a no-brainer. Sure. But again, if you come in, I can explain to you how you can navigate through that to get yourself out of that abusive relationship. Fear of what will happen when they decide to leave the relationship. Abuser threatens to harm or take their children. And I think the harm part sometimes, but a lot of times they say, well, if you leave, I'm going to get custody. I'm going to take the kids. Listen, if you're in that circumstance, come in, do a confidential consultation, and we'll discuss what your options are. And listen, I encourage people to check out the Grace Smith House Facebook page. A lot of really interesting information there. And it's good for people who are either involved in a domestically abusive relationship, or if you know a friend or a family member or a colleague or someone at work that's in that circumstance, because it is up to you, the person who is looking in from the outside, seeing clearly, to suggest to that person that they have options, and do everything you can to help.
To find out more about Dennis and his firm, please visit that website.
drvetranolaw.com.
Dennis, thank you very much.
Good to see you, Joe.